Hi everyone! The Kickstarter for the Tome of Tumiun has reached its first stretch goal, which is absolutely amazing and means I'm finally able to take some time to give the Dragons of Tumiun a long overdue redesign. I've shown you these creatures before, of course, but those artworks are many years old. Since then, I have changed how monsters work in Tumiun. Now, the purple blood of a horror is like a contagious curse. The offspring of any animal that somehow ingests the blood of a monster will be born as horrors too. They'll be horrifying hybrids, looking like a mix between their own kind and whatever beast their parent ingested the blood of. Humans accidentally drink from a stream that contains the cursed blood of Boros, the first beast? Well, their children are born with tusks and hooves, creating a new purple-blooded people. Watch this video to learn more about the origin of monsters. This ancient curse began when a troubled goddess carved all of her fear into a tree, creating 5 magical fruits. One of them, containing the essence of pure dread, was consumed by a gliding tree lizard, much like a real-life Draco lizard. The reptile mutated, growing huge, feeding off of fear itself. The flaps along its ribs slowly turned into wings, and its mind grew ever wiser. It became Dragashu, the father of dragons. Of all the Dreadbeasts of Tumiun, he most closely resembles a classic fantasy dragon, though I've also adjusted his design a bit to reflect those Draco lizard roots. When Dragashu learned that his fellow first monsters were spreading their cursed blood all over Tumiun, he began to search for worthy reptilians, including birds, who were close enough in biology to carry his mighty traits. Their offspring would be wise and powerful creatures Dragashu could teach his elemental songs to. In Tumiun, dragons are synonymous with weather and the elements. The Dreadbeasts fuel their guttural songs, known as Orutau, with memories of the different climates of the world, shaping the weather to their will, summoning storms or snow or scorching heat with nothing more than their voice, using these displays of power to hunt or to impress a mate. As Dragashu traveled the world to soak up memories of all climates, he found 6 different worthy creatures to gift his curse onto, 1 on each of the continents. In Cestiun, he encountered magnificent frigate birds dancing on the warm winds of the Howling Bay. Their speed and agility amazed the young dragon. With a sharp claw, he tore open his skin and outpoured some of his sickly sweet purple blood, its bewitching scent calling the frigate birds to feast. Their offspring were the first wind dancers, Tumiun's wind dragons. In the rain marshes of Arceun, he met stout snapping turtles, who impressed him with their strength and foolish courage when they tried to bite off a piece of Dragashu's soft underbelly. Their jaws were unable to pierce his mighty scales, but he deemed them worthy of his blood, gifting them the curse as well. Their children were the first Rainbacks, the dragons of rain and water. In the thick mists of the river delta on the southern jungle continent of Surak, he beheld the bulb-snouted gharials, snatching their prey with a speed he had not ever seen in a reptile of their size, their clicking calls echoing over the water. With the gift of his blood, the first Fogjaws, the mist dragons of Tumiun, would come to be. Continuing to Ambarna, he saw gold-bearded vultures flying high above the dark flashing clouds of the storm eternal, their fortitude greatly impressing Dragashu. His gifts turned their offspring into the first of the storm wings, the thunder dragons. In the snow-swept valleys of Phoenixfield, he watched snowy owls haunt the tree line like ghosts. He marveled at their graceful beauty and wisdom, seeing them use their keen sight to find their prey even in the black of night. From them, the first snowbeards were born, Tumiun's snow dragons. Finally, he reached Vanima, a beautiful land, not yet inhabited by any people, and he turned that land into a paradise for all dragons. In its southern fields, he watched marabou storks flocking to a bushfire, standing eerily still to snatch up the creatures fleeing the flames. In them, he saw his own dread reflected. With his final gift, their offspring would become the first Burnbeaks, the fire dragons of Tumiun. Every winter, dragons from all over Tumiun migrate to Avanima to share their songs and find a mate, there contesting Orutau, almost tearing the continent apart each year. Today, we will be taking a look at the Rainbacks and the Burnbeaks, the turtles and the storks, and the other 4 will have their own videos following soon. But I'll be honest, I've been putting this redesign off for a long time. Creature design is the one area of illustration where I've never felt quite at home. Luckily, I had some help from today's sponsor, Skillshare. It's an online learning platform with so many amazing creative classes to follow, all taught by experts and professionals. I've said in the past how big of a fan I am of Hardy Fowler's work, especially when it comes to creature design. One of his classes, called Creature Painting, Design and Render Like a Pro, is completely dedicated to illustrating awesome-looking monsters, full of character and style. It taught me so much about how to make intentional choices with a creature's shape design, making them feel real and look exciting. Hardy also shows off his amazing rendering techniques, which make his designs truly come alive. But his most valuable lesson for me was actually a return to basics, starting the design process by prioritizing silhouettes over detailed line work. It's a tool I relied on years ago but had completely overlooked lately, and bringing it back changed the entire trajectory of this redesign. Skillshare is truly the best place to learn a creative skill or pick up a new hobby. So if you're a creator looking to level up your game, Skillshare is where humans come to learn from other humans. And the first 500 people to use my link in the description or scan the QR code on screen will receive a 1-month free trial of Skillshare. So get started today. Huge thanks to Skillshare for supporting the channel. Now let's finally jump into the design of Tumiun's fire dragons, the Burnbeaks of Avanima. As I mentioned, these creatures are the offspring of a giant mutated gliding tree lizard filled with all the dread of the god, crossed with the marabou storks who ate his blood. Sounds simple enough. Now, I always like to start new designs with some quick VizDev, or visual development, basically playing around with images and shapes to find what works and what doesn't before I actually start illustrating. And I can then use those rough concepts as reference for the actual piece. I also wanted to get a really rough idea of how their anatomy might work, being a cross between a Draco lizard and a bird. I liked the idea of the structure of their wings being a little more unique and make more sense for a gigantic animal to be able to fly. I initially struggled with finding the right animal for my fire dragons until I saw a picture of a marabou stork a while back. I mean, just look at them. Their menacing pose, their bulging throat pouch and strange red air sac, and their prehistoric looking heads, covered in stray hairs and these red markings that almost look like they've been burned. Which was perfect because the Burnbeaks are known to throw their young into the flames as a trial, scarring not just their skin but their very souls, creating rooted memories of fire so vivid and strong that they are a lifelong source of power to fuel their fiery songs. And then a while ago I learned that these storks actually seek out grass fires, waiting just outside the smoke to grab any fleeing animals. So that's exactly what the Burnbeaks do, but just on a much larger scale. And they use their Orutau to start those fires themselves, summoning dry heat and scorching winds that ignite the brush around them. The oldest dragons even possess such skill that their songs turn their very breath into the elements they sing of. Due to their rather destructive habits, the southern lands of Avanima are known as the Ishatari, the burn fields, the hunting grounds for one of Tumiun's most intimidating predators. But the dragons of Tumiun aren't mindless monsters. They only attack humans when their hunger completely overcomes them. Inside the cursed dreadful fruit was hidden a sliver of the goddess's wisdom as well, making the dragons quite intelligent. They were actually the ones who brought humans to Avanima thousands of years ago, to breed livestock for them after they almost ate all of the animals there. The people of Avanima see the dragons as gods, who gave them their beautiful land, though some see them more as tyrants, to be kept well fed as to not get devoured. Now, I know, dragons that look like giant birds is not necessarily very original, but neither were my old traditional dragons, so I'd rather turn them into something that feels more like Tumiun, feels more like me. To me, there's something so prehistoric and uncanny about big birds. I remember standing by a giant pelican as a kid and thinking it looked wrong. If it were twice as big, I'd have bolted. I wanted to make sure the design of the Burnbeaks really captured that unsettling feeling. I'd love to hear what you think of these guys. There's a very hungry elder in the back and a younger one in front, and some regular marabou storks for skill, of course, along with these two unfortunate travelers arguing about how to best get out of this sticky situation. More in-depth lore will follow in a future Cartographer video all about the continent of Avanima. And if you want to see more aspects of Tumiun explored even deeper, be sure to check out the Kickstarter for the Cartographer's Tome of Tumiun. It contains 12 years of passionate world building, filled with art, maps and lore, and the campaign is only live for another week, so don't wait. Every stretch goal we hit means more art, more lore, and even more videos. You'll find the link below. Now, from probably the most dreaded of the dragons, we'll go to the most loved, the Rainbacks of Arkyun, offspring of the turtles Dragashu found in the rain marshes of the Living Woods. These turtle dragons don't fly, but I still wanted to play around with the idea of incorporating the Draco lizard's strange rib flaps in some way. I only recently learned that a turtle's shell is basically their rib cage, so I added these wing-like protrusions to their shield. This also led to their silhouette looking very similar to that of a classical dragon, but when you start to fill it in, you see it's something very different. Most often you won't even know it when you're close to one of these gentle giants, as they drift ever so slowly down the river like islands in the stream. The Rainbacks are a part of their forest, bringing water and life with their songs of rain. But that rain comes from a dark place. Just as the Burnbeaks are scarred by flames, the young Rainbacks are held beneath the water by their elders until they nearly perish. Their Orutau draws power from the traumatic memories of the cold, crushing weight of the water on their skin for the rest of their lives. But they use this trauma for good. Though they still radiate dread, because it's simply in their blood, the woodsfolk of Arkyun have befriended them. Fear and dread do not darken an Ayuo's soul so easily, for they are born of hope and love. Together, the Rainbacks and the Leaflings protect the living woods from its worst foe, fire. Not often do the Ayuo try to stop nature's course, but many of the trees in their forest are their rooted ancestors, their souls still inside the bark and the branches. A forest fire could mean the death of thousands of their eldest kin, so the dragons wander in search of drought, singing their rain songs whenever the clouds don't come themselves. Now, what I love most about world building is how one idea can easily spiral into 10 more. As I was looking at the shape of this dragon's shell, I suddenly realized that his wings would completely fill up with water when swimming or after a rainstorm. My first thought was, how am I going to fix this? But leaning into it turned out to be much more fun. It turns the Rainbacks into literal walking pools, who don't just water the forest with their magical songs, but also in a very grounded, mechanical way, tilting their shield ever so slightly when they spot a dry patch of forest, or dumping all of it out when they spot a fire starting to spread. The Rainbacks are like the fire brigade of Archeon, and they often have their own little patches of forest to take care of. They can smell a fire from miles away, and they'll rush there as fast as they can, singing their songs to summon the rainstorms. They patrol their territory well, and the Ayuo make sure they stay well fed in return, sometimes even growing fruit trees or vegetables on their shell. The Ayuo Firewatchers can often bond for life with their dragon mounts, with some even choosing to take root on top of their wandering friends when their own walking days are done, instead of joining the roots of their people. But no matter how hard they try, fire is inevitable. If the flames start to spread too fast, some Rainbacks are known to use their shell wings to literally dig rooted Ayuo out of the ground, carrying them to safety on their backs. And when the fire gets too big, grassy slopes will rise from the moss as the eldest hill-sized Rainbacks wake from their slumber. Their breath is rain, their voice is water, and the waves of the rivers obey their commands. Mikoraza's fear may have poisoned the world, but without her cruel arts, many of the Ayuo's oldest memories would have long been lost. To see them wandering is to see that the blood of fear is not the blood of evil, and from darkness, light shall always spring. When winter comes, the younger, more adventurous Rainbacks sometimes even cross the salty seas to Avanima, singing their songs together with their far kin who have made a home in the mangrove swamps of the east. Now, because of Tumiun's monster system, these 6 dragon lineages were only the first branches on the sprawling draconic family tree. The first 6 are known as true dragons, but when they die or their blood is spilled, their traits may be monstrously passed on to other creatures as well, creating infinite possible reptilian and avian hybrids known as lesser dragons or drakelings. The lesser dragons are smaller but still dreadful, less intelligent and therefore more dangerous and unpredictable. A chicken might peck on some of the curse-carrying purple corn that grows where a Burnbeaks' blood soaked into the soil, and suddenly you've got a very confused and very dangerous poultry dragon. Or the combination can even be between 2 true dragons, creating what's known as a true cross. Maybe a snowbeard is overcome by such hunger that it pecks on the flesh of a young Rainback, and instead of rain or snow, its absurd-looking offspring might sing songs of hail. Now, this video obviously focused more on the design aspect of these creatures instead of their lore, and that's because I'm saving the deep lore for a future cartography video, where I'll draw a detailed new map of Avanima to go into the Tome of Tumiun. Be sure to subscribe so you don't miss it later this year. I'd absolutely love to hear all of your thoughts on the Rainbacks and the Burnbeaks, and if you might have any other cool ideas for them. And please let me know which of the remaining 4 dragon types you'd like to see me redesign next. And if you'd like to support this channel and learn all there is to know about this world I've been building for 12 years, definitely check out the Kickstarter for the Cartographer's Tome of Tumiun, a guide to the wild world. The campaign is only live for another week, so don't wait. The link is in the description. Thank you all so much for watching, and a special thanks to everyone who supported the Kickstarter, and to my Patreon supporters and YouTube members, of course. Without you, I would not be able to spend every day doing what I love doing most. Happy world building, everyone, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.